I know I should have covered this quite some time ago. I know I'm terrible. I'm working on it. I'm trying. So this was according to Hidden Remote, and I have to say it's actually kind of strange. It's kind of funny. Like out of all the articles that I've covered in this show, I'm like, here's one where I was actually at. It's talking about the tribute that they did to Shannen Doherty, and I can look at this and be like, hey, I was there where Holly and Rose paid tribute to her. So here's the deal. Of course, we all know, most of you already know that those three, along with Alyssa Milano, so it was Rose McGowan, Holly Marie Combs, Shannen Doherty, Alyssa Milano, they starred in the hit WB series Charmed. And I'm probably one of the last people in the universe to get to that show, and I realized it was much more popular than I initially realized or would have thought. But, so here's what happened. At the Chicago Fan Expo, Holly Marie Combs and Rose McGowan remember Shannen Doherty and the Charmed legacy at Fan Expo Chicago 2024. Conventions are always a great way for fans to meet their favorite celebrities, get a closer look at who they are and what stands out to them when it comes to their projects, and just celebrate some of our favorite shows and movies. Thankfully, this year, there was a Charmed reunion at Fan Expo with actresses Holly Marie Combs and Rose McGowan in attendance. Now, they played the roles of Piper and Paige in that show. The two stars of the hit show were there to meet fans by signing autographs and snapping pictures. And there was also a special panel. Holly and Rose both spoke about the late Shannen Doherty, some of their favorite moments on the series, and the legacy of Charmed. Even if you weren't at the con, we were. I was. And I'm glad I was there. It was great. Would love to do it again. And so here are the highlights from the lovely ladies panel. Now, of course, there's two different videos right here. They're talking. So it was split, part 1 and part 2. Of course, I recorded some of it on my phone when I was there. Shannen Doherty, who played the beloved Prue Halliwell, was supposed to attend Fan Expo Chicago with her fellow co-stars this year. She passed away on July 13th after a years-long battle with cancer. Holly shared her thoughts on Shannen and her passing. She says, well, I'm angry right now, so you don't want to ask. I'm at the anger part in the grieving stage because at the moment, I'm really mad at her, which is completely illogical, but it's going to happen anyway. I think she did really want to be here at the con. And she did really enjoy meeting people, and I'm glad she got to be with us for the last year doing these shows because it meant a lot to her. And I think, people have heard me say this before, but she was so in love with the show and her character and the family that it created on and off screen. At the last convention, Rose and Shannen were there by themselves without Holly. They got the chance to connect even more, went out to dinner, and we're up talking late into the evening until around 2 a.m. Holly is jokingly jealous that they experienced this without her. Rose read out a note she wrote to Holly, which is also shared in the video. This is what Rose McGowan said. She said, "The great place between life and death is a lonely fog. I'm so sorry, sweetheart. Because lost between the worlds is no bueno. Heart with you, sending you strength. You will get out of the fog. It just takes a long time, unfortunately. The greater the love, the greater the fog. Look for the rays of sun in your life. Crawl across glass on bloody knees to get there to the other side. Grief takes deep, freaky courage, which I know you can muster. I know you're tired. Navigating while having to attend the responsibilities in life and animals can build a strange anger when you just want the world to stop so you can catch your breath. But this is what will keep you alive. Keep going. You are alive. It's okay that you get to live. You're allowed. But it effing sucks. And it will effing suck until it effing sucks a lot less." It's funny that they said earlier in here, warning language, coming from Rose McGowan. That's funny. I'm always with you, my sister. I am here. Ever yours, Rose. The legacy of Charmed. Rose and Holly talk about the sister dynamic on the series. In real life, Rose is the oldest of her siblings, while Holly is an only child. it was interesting for them to play the youngest, middle, and oldest respectively on that show. On the show that was very different from real life. Charm has stuck with people to this day, so the ladies were asked about what it's like to have that standing with the audience. Holly says, I mean, it's really cool. It's nothing we ever expected to happen because we felt like the black sheep of the family when it came to the network. But I met a young Piper yesterday. She was cute, cuter than me. Rose said, I love the word legacy, just as a word, and its meaning is very beautiful. And there's something about magically, pun completely intended, being woven into the fabric of people's lives. It's an incredible honor. Rose liked the message of doing things for no personal gain, and there's consequences to using their powers for that. She thinks that translates to real life as well. One person said, okay, wait a minute. Let me see. Okay, I guess I'm going to do this right here. What was a memorable episode for you? Holly says, for me, the most memorable is the last. There was a lot going on there. I'm really happy we got to wrap it up the way we did. A lot of shows don't get that opportunity. They find out they're canceled too late. Oh, yeah. Yeah. We knew we were being canceled, so I'm happy we got to do it the way we did. We got to bring everybody back. Rose said, I think the way it wrapped up the series was really beautiful, a good honoring. I liked a Paige from the past, just personally. I like origin stories. I always liked it when they were kind of deeper, dramatic, and emotional episodes. But what was also great about Charmed is then all of a sudden you'd be throwing a demon against the wall and making a joke. That's just how we roll. One person asked, what was the most difficult scene to shoot emotionally and physically? Holly says, why do I feel like this? Okay. Holly says, I think everyone knows what was emotionally the most difficult for me. That would be the episode we'll keep skipping over in the House of Hollywell podcast. Physically, I don't know. They were always trying to drown me or set me on fire, threw me through a wall or two, maybe three. Physically, it was just always kind of tough. And when we were young, we thought we were tough. So when we were trying to do as many of our stunts as we could, or that they would... So we were trying to do as many of our stunts as we could, or that they would let us. So thankfully, we were in our 20s. Rose said, for me, the difficulty was not so much a single episode as much as sustaining energy across many episodes. That was kind of what the award should be given for. Holly says, network television is the toughest gig in Hollywood because it's 9 months out of the year, 5 days a week, 12 to 14, sometimes 18 hours a day. It's a tough one. What is your favorite power? Holly said, as I said, I'm angry, so blowing up things. Okay, makes sense. Okay, all right. Rose said, I've said it so many times that I still, after all these years, I get on the airplane and I'm like, what if I can orb? I'm supposed to suffer through this flight. Where's my orbing power? That to me was always the best power. Another person asked, are there any specific arcs that you wanted your character to explore more? Holly said, divorce. No, don't get upset. I love Brian Krause. I know everybody loves Leo, but you know, there was neighbor Dan. Rose said, I didn't understand why Paige would switch jobs a lot. But what I do love about that was that when I enter the show, in the first day of the candles scene, they're like, now you orb. And I'm like, what's that? No one explained it. So I was learning at the same time Paige was learning. And so I thought all of her arcs were actually really kind of perfect for her. The magic school was a little confusing and the avatars, but in hindsight, she should have been an animal trainer. There's an episode where they had a bulldog humping her leg and I would be saying my lines. And in between the lines, the trainer's like, hump her, Harley, hump her. And I'm walking and dragging this bulldog, hump her, Harley, hump her. And I'm like, what the hell is my life? Laugh. And people laughed at that and all that. So 5 of the best moments. So there was that right there. And yeah. And so also I have, there's somebody, I have a friend, David Franklin, who hosts Kitchen Politics 123. He's a Democrat in Arizona. I helped co-host his show on occasion. I think he had something to say about the cast members of Charmed. I think he did like an ode, a poem or something that I want to share that publicly in another video. Of course, I'm going to reach out to him if he wants to do the video together, if I want to have him on the show, or if he just wants me to read it on here. I'm willing to work with either one. But either way, I thought that was wonderful and lovely that they gave that tribute to her and how they talked about the show. It was actually really great to be there, and I'm glad I got the opportunity to be at Fan Expo for the first time. And they've already set one up for next year. Of course, I'm going to be there. I'll be doing a video on that, keeping people posted about when and where that's going to take place. So other than that, that's the show for here. So I got many more celebrity stories, shows, movies, games, all that stuff to talk about. Like and subscribe. Stay tuned.